Hello, hello, everyone. It is Keandra Jackson, and I am back. I am a licensed marriage and family therapist in the state of California, and couples pay me money to give them the steps, tools, and resources they need to have a healthy, long-lasting relationship. So, I actually received a few questions in my inbox lately, and one person wanted me to discuss what they should do if you break up with someone, but you have to see them all the time. And by that, I think this person meant that they either work with the individual or they went to church with the individual, but they have to see this person on a regular basis. Like, how can you, or what can you do to make sure that, you're not sucked back in, right? And so I told this person that I would do a video on this because I think it was a really dope topic to talk about, because that does happen a lot of times. And to be honest with you, you guys know I'm a straight shooter. I tell people all the time, if you guys are in a position, if you're at work, if you're at church, if you're in a position where it's not really the best place to be dating someone, try to avoid that at all costs, right? For these very purposes, for this very reason, because if something goes haywire, if something doesn't work out, if you guys break up, if something happens, you don't want to have the option of like, man, do I change churches? Man, do I find a new job? You don't want to have to go through all of that. So if you're in a position where you're like, you know what, if I dated someone here and it didn't work out, what would that look like? Would it still be cool, or would it be a major issue? So that is a thing. That is one thing that I've always tried to do. Like, don't date in settings that are not, I guess you can say, appropriate for dating. But it happens, right? So what do you do when you start feeling somebody at church and you guys start dating, or you get into a relationship, or at work, and it doesn't work out? I told this person, and I'm telling you guys too, one, try to avoid that, like I just said. But two, in order for you to heal and get over this person, you need to have some distance. And I know that that's not always like the most feasible thing to do, because you're literally probably in this person's presence, or around this person, or seeing this person, or, something reminds you of this person. But you have to set strong boundaries up in that aspect. It's like, you know what, if we go to the same church and I see you there, I'm not going to be in the same Bible study as you. If we have multiple services, I might switch services and be like, okay, you go to that morning service, I go to the afternoon service, so I won't see you. Or if you're at work, you know what I mean? I'm not going to be in the break room kicking it with you and having these conversations. You have to set up these boundaries, because if you don't, when you break up with someone, you're still filled with a lot of emotions, right? You're like, oh my goodness, I still got feelings, whether it was a good breakup or not so good breakup, whatever the case may be. You're feeling some type of way internally. And so in order to get over somebody, time really has to be a part of the process. And I know even for myself, like when I was in relationships or dating people, like in the beginning, it felt like the end of the world. Like, oh my God, we're not together anymore. What am I going to do? But as time goes on, you start to heal. You start to get over it. You start to think about it less. You start to stop crying. You start doing all of these things that lets you know that you're on a better track to healing your heart. And so you can't heal your heart if you're kind of just like picking at that scab. All it's the same thing like when you have a wound, when you get injured, right? When it heals, it starts to itch a little bit, right? And so in order for it to fully heal, you can't be scratching it, because when you're scratching, it's going to start bleeding again. And it's going to start oozing out again. Then you got to put a Band-Aid over it and start the process all over again. That's the same thing with relationships. You need to let it heal. Don't touch it. Don't scratch at it. Don't do nothing to it. And over time, you'll look up and you'll be like, oh man, I forgot that I don't even have a scar there anymore, because it healed so well. And so that's what I want to encourage you guys to do. Make sure you're taking that time, putting those boundaries in place. If that person is overstepping your boundaries and coming into your space and coming into your church groups or whatever the case may be, then have a quick conversation with that person. Like, look, dude, we're not dating anymore, and we need to get over each other. So I want to make this transition as easy as possible. So if you see me run. I'm just kidding. But if you see me, then don't engage. Or you know what, if you know I'm going to be here and you don't have to be here, it's not mandatory, then don't do that. Like, give me my space, respect my space and my time. So I hope that answers that person's question. I thought that was an amazing question because sometimes it's kind of unavoidable, right, to see people. And you know that you are over somebody when you see him or her and you have zero feelings. Like, you do not care. Like, there is no tingling. You don't get mad. You don't get sad. You don't get happy. You don't get nothing. It's just like, hey, I see you. Hi, how are you? And you keep it moving. That's how I always like internally assess things, right? If I see the person, I'm like, oh, I'm mad or I'm sad or I'm feeling some type of way in my gut, I'm like, I still got some work to do. But if I see that person, I'm like, hey, I'm like, yes, I am completely over it. So I want you guys to move forward with that. I hope this was helpful. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below, or you can direct message them to me, and at a later time, I will either address them in one of these videos if it's fitting, or I will speak about them because I have been going live at least once a week-ish, give or take, to answer you guys' questions directly. So either or will be perfectly fine. You guys can visit my website at www.kwcouplestherapy.com. Again, that's kwcouples with an S therapy.com. If you are looking for individual or couple services and you're in the Los Angeles area, please feel free to visit my website or give me a call at 310-751-0389. I'm looking forward to hearing from you guys soon. Have a great day.